Morning, good afternoon, or if you're like me and it's Saturday night and you're scrambling to do this, good evening. My name's Jackson Maxfield, and I'll be talking about social selling as part of the sales stack. I apologize about my poor camera quality. My computer's really old. So, first off, I wanted to talk a little bit about the definition of sales. I think it's relevant to this part of the sales stack. This comes from a website called Your Sales Blog. It's where you can go to find out about your part of the sales stack, that little link the professor included. Anyway, this is how they define sales. In our view, sales is a craft which is all about reducing the distance between people. Tools, like social selling, help build relationships. So, sales is all about reducing the distance between people. How quickly can we get to the customer? And social selling is a big part of that. And when you hear social selling and building relationships, you're probably thinking social media. And that is definitely a part of social selling. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit more about the B2B side of social selling. But let's first talk a little bit about what social selling actually is. So, social selling, according to that website, is the tools, processes, and data that help sales teams reduce the distance between them and customers through social platforms. And there's tons of social platforms out there. I think I have some examples here. Facebook is one that you probably all know and have heard of. There's others called Vidyard, and that little one that's kind of hard to see on the bottom is called Shield Analytics. Some websites and softwares have social selling built into them, and some of them, like Facebook, are a social selling platform in and of itself. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit specifically about LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is specific to B2B sales because LinkedIn is like one of the biggest B2B sales softwares out there. So LinkedIn Sales Navigator is the software built into to LinkedIn that allows you to find people to talk to generate leads. And LinkedIn is really cool because it can integrate into whatever CRM your company is using. So instead of like tracking social selling on your LinkedIn and then every other lead and things you find on your CRM, you can actually just have all that data in the CRM your company uses because LinkedIn integrates right into it. And it's really cool because you can search by company size, industry, region, whatever you're looking for, whatever your target audience is. And as you keep searching and interacting, LinkedIn will start recommending leads. They'll say, hey, this person just joined LinkedIn and they fit the target audience that you're searching for. And then, kind of what makes this LinkedIn Sales Navigator part of social selling is its direct messaging. So, just like on any other social media platform, you can message someone directly to start a conversation, hopefully, build a relationship with them. LinkedIn Sales Navigator does have some limitations, which I think are important to look at. The biggest one I saw was monthly quotas on direct messaging. I think it's a little silly that you only have a certain amount of messages you can send each month. But I assume that if you look at the bottom bullet point, it has to do with the subscription cost. So I'm guessing the higher subscription you pay for, the more direct messages you can send. And that's just another limitation, is there is a subscription to this social selling platform. Another limitation is the adoption of the software. So I'm guessing a lot of people use Facebook or Instagram, whatever, but not everyone's going to use LinkedIn in this specific way to generate leads and find people to sell to. And so adopting the software is something that the people at the top are going to have to try really hard to do so that everyone else below them can adopt the software and the company can be united. So that way, when someone sees that you message them, they can say, oh, okay, this person works for whatever company and they use LinkedIn to generate leads. So that's what this is going to be about. The benefits of LinkedIn Sales Navigator is they're the top professional network, one of them, and it gives them a lot of credibility. And so this is a great way to build credibility and rapport with customers. Another one is it's really good for B2B sales. I think other platforms like Facebook and Instagram are really good for our B2C sales, so business to customer sales. And you guys see it all the time. You get sponsored ads as you're scrolling on social media, and that's B2C. But B2B sales is when companies are selling to each other. So when, for example, my father-in-law is an optometrist, an eye doctor, and there are contact companies that sell contacts that talk to him. And one great way that they could reach out to him is through LinkedIn. So they could message him and be like, hey, I'm with 1-800-CONTACTS. We'd love to supply your office with contacts. And so it's a little bit different than B2C, but LinkedIn is for B2B sales. And another thing about LinkedIn is it's good for companies that need data and visibility. So it allows people to see exactly what's going on, and it gives them good data so that they can build data-driven decisions. Social selling, I've kind of alluded to this a couple times. It fits into the sales stack at the very top of the funnel. This is where we're generating leads, finding opportunities, early engagement with customers. And social selling does not replace emails or phone calls or anything like that. It actually complements them. So it's a great tool to add to your tool belt of generating leads and early engagements with your target audience. I want to go through what you should do to perform social selling, like what it actually looks like. So one thing you can do is you can find people who are ready to buy. So people on LinkedIn can create posts and they can say, hey, I'm looking for a company that can manufacture expo markers, like dry erase markers. And then the salespeople can, as they're searching, they can put that as one of their filters. People that need someone to manufacture expo markers or whatever. You can also create content on this social selling platform. So you can create posts like, hey, this is what we're selling, or this is what the things that we've produced in the past. And it creates warm conversations and not cold ones. Because a lot of times when you're cold calling, they don't know who you are. But with a social selling platform like LinkedIn, they can see, oh, this person, you, the salesperson, is connected to this other person that I know. And so you're building a warmer conversation with them than just some random salesperson giving them a call. And the last thing that I think is really cool about this part of the sales stack is you can give them ongoing support throughout the sales process in normal and natural ways. So you always want to be in contact with your customer, but sometimes it can be hard to be like, hey, I'm just in the neighborhood if you're really not. And this way, through this platform, you can like things they post, you can comment all throughout the sales process so that you can be present, but there's not a lot of pressure to have this relationship with you if they don't want to. And so those are just some steps of how you can do social selling. And I just wanted to go through an example using LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to define your target audience. So you're going to go and see your sales profile. Like, this is the kind of person that we want to sell to. And you'll put it into the search bar. And this is in a different language. I don't know why. I think it's in French. I'm sorry. But you can put all the things you want. So for example, you can do a VP, maybe sales at software companies. You want it to be anywhere from 200 to 1,000 employees, and then you want it in the Midwest of the United States. And LinkedIn Sales Navigator is going to pull up a huge list of all of these people and companies that fit your description. Then what you're going to want to do is save these leads and set up alerts. So on Salesforce, like we've talked about in this class, you can create a report of all of the leads or opportunities, and you can do the same thing on LinkedIn. And then you're going to want to monitor and use the alerts that you receive. So LinkedIn will send you maybe an email or a text or maybe just a little banner at the top of your computer that says like, hey, this person just joined this company that's part of your target audience. Or maybe they're like, okay, this company just expanded, or hey, this sales rep just posted that they need this. And then you're going to want to go in and look at these alerts and see which ones are going to be most useful for you to look at. So maybe they moved into the company, but they don't have anything to do with sales. So you probably won't want to contact them. But maybe they are, and then you will contact them. The next thing you're going to want to do is send them a personalized message. So if you look, you can click the message button right there and just say, hey, this is me, this is what we sell, whatever. And then you can track their engagement. And this is a really important part of the process because you can see what they did after you messaged them. Did they read it? Did they not? Did they click on your profile? And maybe you sent them a link so it'll tell you, okay, they followed the link to your website, whatever. And then this helps you start a conversation and build a relationship. And then you can move it to other platforms. Maybe like they like phone calls better, or maybe they use Salesforce, whatever. And you can start a conversation, build a relationship that way. Social selling is such an important part of the sales process, and I'm just going to go back to this slide because it's at the top of the funnel. And as someone that is getting into sales, this is probably what a lot of our jobs are going to be. When you first get into sales, you're the top of the funnel. You're supposed to generate leads. So LinkedIn is Sales Navigator is one of the great platforms that can help us do it. And I just want to end with this quote that sales is a craft which is all about reducing the distance between people. So I'm Jackson. I talked about social selling and LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Thank you. Have a nice night.